Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite distilleries, Dustin, Laphroaig. The 28-year-old limited edition from 2018, I believe. So Dustin picked this one up, was really excited about it. Beautiful presentation. Same white wooden box, the 25 comes in, and the 32 and the 27. But this one has a nice little way to get it out, unlike the 25. Slides out right here. Little magnetized.
Yeah, I legitimately cracked my first case of 25 trying to get it out.
Laphroaig 25, it's very hard to get out. It's like sealed here and you can't slide it out easily.
Yeah.
Like you can with this one. But it comes with this nice little booklet in here. It tells you a little bit about the whiskey itself and how they made it in the same wooden box that the normal Laphroaig 25 comes in. So they like this box, they use it quite a bit.
Yep.
Malleable, if anything else, Dustin.
It is a nice box.
Now, this particular Laphroaig aged in multiple casks. Some of it was aged in quarter casks, some of it was aged in bourbon barrels, some of it was aged in sherry butts. And then for the final 12 months, they mixed them all together in a sherry cask for the final 12 months to kind of blend it all together, which seems odd, really, that they would throw it in there at the end. It must be I would say, a reused sherry cask to go about it that way for the final 12 months.
Yeah, or it could have been a new cask, and they didn't want to put too much time on it, and they wanted to then use that as a refill.
Well, what I'm going to get to is just the color of it. So the color, it's an odd color, just like the 32 and the 27. This weird brown or
yeah,
kind of copperish gold.
And with we've got some lighting going on here, which I think is making it look more like a natural whiskey than it usually does, because
it's very orange.
We've looked at this a lot. It is odd. It's
an odd color.
Yeah.
Last couple things about the bottle. It is cask strength at 44.4% ABV, which, Dustin, a little low.
Yeah.
For that age statement. Usually the 25-year-old Laphroaigs come in, 50s,
yeah.
High 50s,
Low 50s, high 50s.
Yeah, low 50s, high 50s.
I've seen a few in the 49 range. So was it the 17 I just picked up?
17, it was like 48.9. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be high 50s. I've seen, as low as like 48.9. Usually they were 51, 52, something like that.
Which kind of makes me think they threw a few casks in here that may no longer have been legal Scotch unless they blended it back up to a higher proof.
Yeah, well, it's a low ABV for that age statement is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I remember even the 32 that me and a buddy of mine did earlier, that was at least 46, 47% ABV. So a little low of an ABV for 28 years old, but interesting cask maturation. 20-year-old Laphroaig, so it's a very rare bottling. And don't think it's natural color, but let's get to the nose. Tell everyone what we think.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm getting some kind of a tropical fruit. I almost want to say like oranges and grapefruit.
Man, it is
squeezed out fresh.
It is a beautiful smelling whiskey. Very summertime tropical fruits, like the oil of something citrus, some type of tangerine maybe.
What I'm struggling to really pick up is a lot of earthiness, like from the Isle of Malt. I mean, it's just so fruity.
So fruity. I mean, the smoke's there, but it's very, very light and subdued. A wisp of smoke. I mean, the 25 is way punchier than this.
But I mean, if you told me that smoke was just from oak casks, I would go, okay. Like, you could have told me this was like a Balvenie or the Highland Park, maybe something with a little bit of peat.
Yeah,
I would be like,
shocking.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, cool, it's an independent bottle and must have had something cool go on.
Yeah, that's what I like about some of these older Laphroaig bottlings. The 25 kind of stays true to what Laphroaig is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It does it well. To where some of these odd age standards, the 27, the 28, the 32, they really kind of push the envelope on what it does. And usually it's a lot more fruit flavors.
Yeah.
And a lot less of that medicinal, distillery characteristic.
Yeah, I would say there is a little bit of earth, but I get no iodine. I don't get any medicinal. Nobody's talking about a dentist's office on the nose of this, at least before water. Let's see what happens with water.
It is a beautiful smelling whiskey.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is probably one of the best nosing whiskeys I've ever had.
You know what's funny? People talk about old Laphroaigs, and they talk about how fruity, how tropical fruit old Laphroaigs were. And I always I never really got that from Laphroaig. I got it from, Lagavulin and some other whiskeys, but, never Laphroaig. This is the first Laphroaig where I get that really tropical fruit, really low level of distillery characteristic and smoke.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, this is reminding me more in a way of like a Macallan 21 Fine Oak.
So many fruits. And they're not super sweet, but there's a sweetness to them as well.
Yeah, and again, there's an earthy undertone here that's got to be where the peat's in here, but it is definitely an undertone, and it's balancing it.
It's like almost like a drying smell. You know what I mean? It doesn't let the fruits get too juicy. It's like dried. The fruits are beginning to dry out. but they're still very vibrant as far as their smell.
Yeah, I mean, the fruits would almost be like citrus and bitter to the point of being like off-putting, I think, without that. Because it's that fruity up front.
That fruity. And you know, the smell of it, I was a little disappointed with the ABV on this one. I was hesitant buying it just because it was kind of a lower ABV. You know, I usually like to keep it at 46 or above. But, you know, on the nose, it doesn't smell 44. It smells 46, 48%.
Oh, yeah. And I'm starting to get a little bit of waxy vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla's definitely coming up.
Yeah.
Like oily vanilla.
It wasn't there at first. Yeah. Oily, waxy. I mean, it's...
Vanilla extract.
Yeah. But it's got some body to it.
All right, let's take a sip and see what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had this once before with you, Mike. And I will say, it's actually a little less fruity than the first time we had it. I am starting to, get the peat starting to come through, starting to make itself present. The earthiness, those earthy tones are here. It's still, however, I want to say, waxy fruits are just dominating here.
Yeah, like fruit you'd see on someone's table that weren't real.
Yeah, and it's waxier than the nose. The nose is sweet, tropical fruit. This is waxy.
You know, I've had this bottle for, I don't know, what do you say, 4 months, 5 months, something like that?
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while.
Because we've had this at least once together, not twice.
You know, at first this came off really thin on the palate. Like after it got time to open, it is a little thicker. Now, again, for a bottle that's 28 years old, I would like something a little more aggressive on the taste. It does still come off, even while it's not as thin as it used to be, it still comes off a little thin to me on the palate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that oily texture that you expect in cask strength,
Goes
non-chill
down,
filtered.
Goes down too easy.
And the problem is, up front, I just get hit with a wave of flavor.
Sure.
Like, it hits you the front of the tongue, sweet, and then it moves on and you get the... I can't really describe the peat here very well, Mike, but it's a different peat. It's that Laphroaig peat, but it has that overcoat of those fruits on them. But there's none of the medicinal. Like, there's none of that really even here. It's spicy.
It is spicy.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me a little bit of Laphroaig lore with that, like that berry spiciness, like with the aftertaste, the finish, especially around the sides.
See, I'm not getting enough. I get barely any finish on this thing, which is really where I'm struggling right now.
See, that's the thing. Really, this was a hard whiskey to figure out for me because while you're holding it in your mouth, it was aggressive, and then it kind of thinned out, and when you swallowed it, it's like it fell off a cliff. Like as soon as you swallowed, it felt really thin. No. And then, like the linger, it felt like, there really isn't a strong aftertaste. But then the linger, even though it's very subdued, it stays with you for a long time. And it does get spicy.
And now I'm actually getting a little medicinal in that finish.
Yeah, we put a few drops of water.
I think the water helped there, but I'm getting, and I took a little bigger pour and really kind of sloshing around. Yeah, now I'm getting a better finish. It is coming a little more medicinal where I'm starting to think, okay, I can tell it's Laphroaig.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of that more Laphroaig.
Yeah, it was hiding.
Yeah, but really sort of a popping peat. You know what I mean? It's very zesty peat.
I gotta say, the water surprisingly helped this one, and I was not expecting that given 44 and the fact that it already tasted thin. Yeah,
I mean, as far as what it did for on the nose with water, the fruits went down and the spice went up.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot spicier. Less sip time.
Oh, the nose has changed a little bit too.
Now those fruits have moved further north. Apples, red apple, as opposed to some of those other citrus fruits. Again, kind of falls off a cliff right when you swallow. And then that smoke comes in. It's a little bit drying. Spice, wood spice.
I think it's apricot now.
Maybe oil. Peel.
Apricot and wood kind of come in at the same time. It's complex, but it's so thin, Mike.
Yeah, this is a bottle that I got a pretty good deal on, but it was still pushing $500. This is, in my opinion, I love Laphroaig. I like the age statement. I love its cask strength, even though it's a low ABV.
Yep.
But this is not a $500 bottle of whiskey.
No, it smells like $600, $700 bottle of whiskey. And it tastes like a
$200 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah,
about that really. Yeah. Which is why, for me, like I said, going back to whiskey score, to me, this is a 90 out of 100. I mean, it's a good whiskey. I'd pay $250 for it again. I wouldn't even pay $350 for it.
I mean, me, I always talk about mouthfeel, oils, coating.
Not there.
And for me, that's such an important part of a good whiskey that, to me, this is going to drop to an 88, Mike.
Whew.
I know.
That's a low score, but I get it. I get it.
And I'm telling you guys, we were talking about this before. It's a 94, 95 on the nose. It's that good a nose.
and just keeps regressing as far as the experience. It goes just straight down from there.
And it's got some good flavor, but I'm sorry, but I need whiskey to last for 5 minutes. That's at $200 even. Like this is not even there in some ways, and it's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the ABV is what does it in. I didn't know if all the casks kind of produced that way. It was probably, like you said, it's probably had casks that were below 40%. They threw them in there to bring the overall ABV down, but there's something very hollow about this experience.
I struggle here with just who this whiskey's for, because you've got to be willing to spend a ton of money on a whiskey.
Oh, with me, apparently.
Well, yeah, but again, you're not buying a second.
No, I'm not buying a second, that's for sure. But no, I mean, again, I'm a Laphroaig lover, so I'll take a chance at it. But I was also eyeballing the 27, which is an even lower AB at 41.1. No way I'm buying that bottle now.
Yeah.
Because it's a similar cask maturation, and if it's less of what this is, no way.
Yeah, it's really disappointing because, as you know, Laphroaig 25 is probably one of my staple bottles. I'll never be without.
Much better bottle. I mean, even we've tried the 17, the 18, the 19. Any of those vintages I would prefer over this, even at the same price.
Yep.
That's where I'm at. Anyway.
Absolutely.
If you have the bottle and you love it, sorry, it's just our opinion. I tried it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well,
until I changed my opinion. But I thought the same thing from drink 1 to right now.
Well, and the thing is, an 88 to 90 for us is still an exceptional whiskey. It's not worth the money. Yeah, and that's why we're being so negative on the bottle.
Yeah. And plus Laphroaig, I love Laphroaig. It rarely disappoints me. All right, so Dustin 88, I'm at a 90. First time we're kind of off by a few points, but hey, that's
happens.
That happens. We want to once again thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Until next time, Dustin, we wish the folks
happy drinking.
see you in the comment section.